friends, welcome back to my channel. I know there have been a few of you who have wondered if I was going to bring back my hoarding closet updates, and my answer is absolutely. It definitely got away from me. I would say at the end of 2019, I really hadn't properly planned out my end of the year filming schedule. And then I said to myself that I would do it in January and never got around to it. So I do apologize that I fell off the wagon with it, but I am so excited to give you my first update of the 2020 year. In today's video, I'm gonna let you know how I have sort of changed and reorganized a little bit of the number counting, and then share with you my progress over the past 3 months. So as I was going through and doing my counts, I recognized that the Google sheet that I have been using for the past few years to do my counting is getting a little outdated. There are categories that for probably at least 6 months, if not an entire year, I really didn't have any product in that category. And in an effort to be more transparent, I've also realized that there are a few other categories that I want to bring in. And those 3 categories are the following. I have a hair curling products category, I have a bar soap category, and I have a shaving cream category that I'm bringing in. I just have noticed that through a couple of reorganizations and again wanting to be more transparent, I thought I would include those numbers since I do have a surplus of them. I don't just have one item in there. So because of that and having the old and the new categories and getting rid of some things and adding in some new categories, I'm going to go ahead and start a brand new Google Sheet to keep track of that will officially mark from this point forward what I've been using up. I will also continue to do 3-month updates because I just feel like every month there wouldn't be enough to necessarily report out on, and you are seeing a lot of my monthly usage in my project Use It Up, because that's where I would say a good 80% of my concerted usage comes from, is from documenting my progress in that particular challenge. So I will link that playlist below because I think I do have a couple, if not 3 videos already for that particular challenge for this year. So in an effort to give myself less to have to hold, I have written down everything and I'm going to go through and talk to you about what is in those, how many things I've used up over the past 3 months, and the total number of products that I have. We'll go ahead and start with the hair items. So I was going back through and reorganizing and evaluating what I have under this umbrella of hair items that is not things like shampoo or conditioner. And when I was going back through, I recognized that I actually have some products that, upon doing some reevaluation and some research of, are actually supposed to be able to be used as a hair curling type of product. So upon realizing that, I then sort of lumped them together, and my intent once we get into hair curling season will be to test those out, and anything that doesn't meet my curl standards I will declutter, but anything else that I like I will just keep and try to use up. So in that particular new category there are 4 items. All 4 of those things are things I have never tried. They're not my usual suspects or standbys that you guys have seen me, go through the past few years. So there is no guarantee that I will love them and fully use them up, but at least now I'm more aware of that. And they're not just this big pile of mystery products that I tend to neglect. Because as a reminder, 90% of what I have under the hair umbrella that is not shampoo and conditioner, I received in subscription boxes. That was the biggest culprit of products that would accumulate that would really rarely get used up or really used at all. And as soon as I cut those out of my life, it really alleviated that very bloated category. Additionally, I have a hair oil in there. I've had that. I still have it. I'm waiting to finish up my Fortune Cookie soap one, and as soon as I'm done with that, I can pull this one out and start to work on it, and then I will not have any hair oils, fingers crossed, in the back stock. I think it's a great category for me to not have any backups of, because it takes me literal years at times to use up a hair oil. For hair serums, I still have 2. There's currently one that I have figured out an alternative use for besides just as a hair oil. And I'm currently keeping track of how long it will take me to use that one in my project Use It Up for 2020. I'll be very curious to see. Again, I think that's going to be a category much like hair oil that I will never need backups of, because they take really long time to use up. In regards to what I consider like cream or leave-in creamy type of products that aren't for hair curling, I had 6 and I still have 6. That is going to be the one category that I think is going to be the longest and hardest for me to use up. I may actually ask my sister if she wants any of them. She, for the record, has the same like type of hair that I do in color, but hers is super curly, like ringlet curly. So her hair care routine and the way she treats her hair and cares for her hair is very different from the way I care for my hair, and I'm pretty sure she uses a lot of leave-in conditioner. I think at least 2 of that leave-in cream category is leave-in conditioners, so I may ask her if she wants them, and if she does, I'll pass them on. Like, yes, I could find a use for them, but I'd rather give that type of item to her so that she could genuinely use it in the way that it was intended for and not like a forced situation. But again, that's a category that just hair in general has been really difficult for my hoarding closet. If you've been tracking this with me for any length of time, you will know that the umbrella of hair products like this have just sort of plagued the hoarding closet for quite some time. Okay, the rest of how I'm going to go through this is how I have things organized in my hoarding closet. I actually am super jazzed to report that I have been able to consolidate everything in the hoarding closet from the second and third shelf just to the third shelf. That maybe doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but honestly, when I first moved into this apartment almost 3 years ago at this point, and I unpacked my hoarding closet stuff, I was really overwhelmed in the sense that I thought I had been making decent progress, but that was not the case because my closet that I am storing things in is way bigger width-wise than it was at my other apartment. And so it just, when I opened those doors, it felt a bit more overwhelming. I'm not sure why, because the closet at my other apartment was floor to ceiling, and it was maybe like, I don't know, this wide, but it was floor to ceiling full of product. If you go way back into my hoarding closet history when I first started this, you can see the original hoarding closet, and there was a ton of stuff in there. But these, double doors, opening those up and seeing 2 shelves or 1.5 shelves worth of stuff was a lot. So right now on the hoarding closet, the second shelf just has my nail polish, and then the rest of it is Ben's stuff. And then we have like first aid things. And then the third shelf is entirely my hoarding closet stash. I don't know what it's going to ultimately look like when I start to get down to just like 6 months worth of product. As a reminder, my vision and hope with not every category, but probably a good number of categories, is to have just a 6-month supply of things so that I can be purchasing my like body routine items during semi-annual sale periods. So things like body lotion, body cream, shower gel, shampoo, conditioner, body scrub, those types of products, I want to be able to figure out what I use up in a 6-month period and then just purchase that amount. So we're talking in June, which is typically the like spring semi-annual sale time, and then in the December end of year time. Between those 2 windows is when I want to make those purchases. So I don't know what that's ultimately going to look like. I really feel like this year I'm going to get down to a point where I can start to figure that out, which is pretty exciting. Okay, that was a small tangent. Let's focus in back on the numbers. So for body scrubs, I had 8. I currently have 5, so I'm down 3, which is pretty great. I'm going to keep plugging away on those. For body lotion, I had 11, now I have 10. It's not really body lotion season for me. I really wanted to, like the last 2 years, 2 winters, to focus more on using body lotions mixed with oil, but I feel like as long as I have body creams, I will always want to use those first, and I'm really going to try this year, once I'm done with my body creams, to not purchase any body creams until my body lotion collection is very much gone. And speaking of body creams, I had 6, I now have 3. I very much believe that I'm going to get those 3 finished off by the time winter is done, which will be excellent, and I'm just going to have to force myself to now rely on solely my body lotions once those body creams are gone. For shampoo, I had 6 and now I have 8, so I've increased it by 2. If you guys remember, I feel like right at the start of the year when I was going through this hair debacle, I ended up purchasing a few of my Old Faithfuls from the Body Shop, the Ginger Scalp, restorative shampoo, and I've been using that ever since. Once we're back into the like warmer, more humid months, I won't need that anymore, and I can start to pull out any old shampoo that I have. For conditioner, I had 5, I still have 5. I have a pretty large conditioner in my shower right now that once that's gone, I'll probably start to get through some of the other conditioners that I have. Again, I was doing some experimentation where I was trying out a lot of the conditioners in my collection to figure out what one would be the best one for my hair's current needs. But the reality was it was my shampoo. That was the key to getting my hair back to where it was supposed to be, and the conditioner didn't really have a whole lot of impact. For body oils, which I'm really only keeping to eventually have to mix with body lotions, I had 6 and now I have 8, so I have increased by 2. That is 100% from Fortune Cookie Soap monthly unboxings that I was doing. I did in 2019 do the quarterly where I was getting just 1 each season, but I decided that even that was too much because I also would still buy in for their seasonal boxes. I still got a Halloween box and an Easter box, and I really, from year to year, enjoy those. So I decided to, in 2020, cancel that subscription altogether and just allow myself to buy the seasonal Fortune Cookie Soap boxes. So I did purchase an Easter 2020 box, and I'm good with that because in all other aspects of my body care routine, I am on a no buy. New category alert that I'm bringing in is bar soaps. I feel like in my trash talks, I've alluded to you guys that we did have a surplus of bar soaps because my lovely husband used to do a ton of traveling and he would hoard like bar soaps and all those shampoo and conditioner and body wash toiletries. He did a really good job using up everything but the bar soap, so I decided to take those on to use them. And then I also had a few other ones from like Fortune Cookie Soap and whatnot, so I wanted to bring in this category. 7 is a lot, but the Fortune Cookie Soap ones, which is about half of the collection, are really quick to go through. I don't know what it is about their formulation. I think they are mostly glycerin based, and I find that those really like wear away quite quickly compared to more traditional like drugstore bar soaps. For shower gels, I had 21. I currently have 19. That's only a decrease of 2. I will admit at the end of 2019, I did allow myself to purchase a handful of shower gels, and I also received a few for Christmas. So that did sort of skew the numbers, but I feel like this is a category that as long as I'm not purchasing any and not getting a whole lot in through other means, I will be able to whittle that down. I definitely have a lot of summer and spring scents to work through, so I'm hoping to really make a dent in that over the spring and summer months. For travel shower gels, I had 2. I currently have 1. I'm not super worried about that. That's definitely one of those categories where I will just take it to Maine on like a week trip that I'm there for, and I will probably get it used up in 1 week. For face exfoliant, I had 2, I still have 2. I feel like it's gonna remain pretty steady because I'm working on that giant Biore one that is currently in my project Use It Up. For serums, I kind of put like any of like the toners or sprays or serums, like all in this one category. I had 7, I currently have 5. I'm gonna keep working on that category. I don't need that many. My ultimate goal is just to have my 1 rotational one that I need to have on backup, but aside from that, I don't need to have this surplus. For moisturizer, I had 6, I currently have 3. I'm very happy to report that the 3 that I have in there are my full-size ones, so once I am done working on the 2 that I currently have, I can pull those out and I'll be back on to my typical skincare routine for moisturizer, which I'm very happy about because I really didn't like having all those little tiny pots that I was working through. For eye cream, I had 2, still have 2. I'm currently using my full-size Belif, the True Cream Ultra Moisturizing Eye Balm. It's got like 1,000 words in its name, so that is really my standby. The other ones that I have, I probably shouldn't be using anyways because they're not as moisturizing, and so I'm going to test them out better in the summer months when it's a bit more humid. For cleansers, I had 3, currently have 2, pretty pleased with that. Cleansers aren't a big deal for me to get through. For hand soaps, I had 14, I currently have 16. It's an increase of 2. I definitely need to tone it down. I got a little zealous. There were a couple of spontaneous hand soap sale days that I purchased some hand soaps that I didn't necessarily need, and I have a lot of duplicate scents, namely rose duplicate scents, no one is surprised. So I will try to be very concerted in working on those. That typically is a category that I can wipe through and not repurchase a lot from because I don't really buy hand soaps unless they're on those really deep discounted sale days. Our final new category that we have is shaving cream. When it came to including this as an item, I really am not surprised that I had it because my philosophy ever since I have moved exclusively over to the Fortune Cookie soap, whipped soaps, or shaving creams, I use the two interchangeably for the same purpose. I tend to purchase two at a time when I make my purchase just because I'm paying for shipping. It's one of the very few companies that I stomach shipping costs for, which should tell you how much I like their products because you guys know I hate paying for shipping, but I do it for Fortune Cookie soap. To help soften like the blow, I always tend to buy two. The two that I have, I amassed in Get What You Get bags. I don't really care what the scents are, to be honest, of those. I did discover, and I'll show it to you guys in a trash talk probably soon, one that I will swear off of buying again, and I'll explain why. But I really don't typically care what the scent of that is, so I just kind of get whatever is the biggest bang for my buck. So I do have three. I'm sure it'll be like 6 to 9 months before I have to buy any more in that category. So, over the last 3 months, I have used up 16 items, and I have arguably brought in 6 new items. Now, I didn't quite know myself where I fell on this matter now that I have these 3 new categories. So again, you can decide. I'm just gonna give you the numbers. If I did choose to include my 3 new categories, my taken in number would increase to 20. Again, I don't really know how I feel about it because the reality is those items have been in there for a prolonged length of time, like at least I'd say 4 or 5 months. So they're not really new to me, or I haven't recently brought them in, but whatever. It's 20, it's 6, whatever you want to look at it, you have the numbers. And then when it comes to my overall totals, again, if I don't count the 3 new categories, I have 98 items in my hoarding closet, but if I include the new categories, I have 112. I don't know, again, I don't really have a strong position either way on including or not including. I'm just sharing the information with you. What I will say is, regardless of including those categories or not, at the start of 2019, I had 135 items in my closet, and I did finish the year with 110. So arguably, I have brought in 2 more items than I had started the year with. But I think in the end, this is going to be my biggest year of success. To be clear, I feel like I've had really great success over the past couple of years, but I think by not having any subscription boxes except for maybe 2 that I purchased for Fortune Cookie soap and not buying any more body care items, I will really continue to get those numbers down. I'm already seeing really good progress. Like my body lotion number in particular, I think once I'm out of body creams, those body lotions are really staring down a fate. And when I think about the year so far and I think about my numbers going forward, I will be shocked if my body lotions aren't really wiped down. I'll be shocked if my shower gels don't go down considerably. I know I'm gonna run out of scrubs probably by June at this rate. By the next semi-annual sale, I'll need to purchase scrubs. I think those are pretty good, exciting things. I did talk about this in my skincare haul, but I'm starting to face a weird reality where I won't have a ton of backups, which it's a good reality to face, but it's very unusual. I mean, I think just alone here on YouTube, I have been physically counting and like documenting and keeping track of the hoarding closet. God, I think for 4 or 5 years. So you're talking at least 4 or 5 years. I've always had backups, but I was doing this before I even documented it on YouTube. So most of my adult life, I've lived this way, and I am looking forward to not having to have a hoarding closet that's as extensive as this, but it's just not something I'm used to. So I don't know, stay tuned for this year because my updates may have some different type of commentary than it ever has before beyond just numbers, but I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it. And as always, I appreciate you guys being here, hearing what I'm doing, and seeing what I'm up to with my hoarding closet. I always appreciate your feedback. So now that we've talked about my numbers, I'm gonna go ahead and show you my current 1-shelf hoarding closet. Okay, so this is the new consolidated hoarding closet shelf. Like I mentioned, everything is consolidated down onto one section. So This front area is skincare. Out back, you see shower gel. This yellow container has my body lotions. It's got my exfoliators in it, and it has my body creams. This next section has oils, shampoo, conditioner, bar soaps. And then my final section has all of my hair care sections. It's got my newly added hand soaps down here. So this is where we are at. And like I said, I'm pretty happy with being moved down to just one shelf. All right, guys, it has been a lot of me yammering on about my numbers. I am so looking forward to updating you on where my hoarding closet usage and journey takes me this year. I, of course, appreciate you guys tuning in, and I really encourage you to do something similar, whether you document it publicly like I do or not. I just find it to be so motivating and so focusing, and it's really been the key in my success. But that's enough for me. I will talk to you guys in my next video real soon. Bye.